Welcome to the BP Mindcast. I'm Jonathan Bartlett, your host. These podcasts cover a wide variety of topics from a conservative academic viewpoint. Some you'll find interesting, some you won't. However, I plan on keeping these short enough that you can easily enjoy what you like, and hopefully I won't keep you too long for those that you don't. This one's going to start a series on experts and expertise. And I have to start out by saying that I actually really appreciate good expertise. And by that, I mean a deep knowledge of a subject. I appreciate people who search out answers, find them, understand them, and are able to apply those answers to practical situations. I really appreciate expertise and people who have expertise. However, I've found that a lot of people have put undue confidence in people who are so-called experts. And I think there's a place for experts, but I think on the whole, our current expert class has not been doing us many favors. That in fact, a lot of the problems today stem from a misunderstanding of expertise, a misunderstanding of how it should apply, and a misunderstanding of the role of experts in public debates, public policy, and other public actions. So there's a lot to unpack in this. First of all, I want to say that one of the things I'm going off of is this book. Let's see if I can get it to you can read that. It's called The Death of Expertise. It's by Tom Nichols. The book subtitle is The Campaign Against Established Knowledge and Why It Matters. And so this book is actually targeted at people like me. Now, I'm not necessarily engaged in a campaign against established knowledge, but someone like Tom Nichols would probably think that I was. And that is, I don't hold that experts necessarily have the expertise that is often attributed to them. And so over the next few podcasts, we'll talk about on how and why and what that means for us on a daily basis. We'll talk a little bit about the book. We'll talk about the subjects, and we'll talk about different types of expertise and what makes someone an expert and what should make someone an expert. So to begin with, I should I'll give you an anecdote for today. And this is about my mom. My mom passed away several years ago. She had a kidney disease, and she was doing kidney dialysis for about 20 years. And what that means is that basically she didn't have working kidneys, and basically what they had to do is they had to literally 3 times a week she would go in and they would pump blood out of her, clean it, and pump it back in. And this is something where for most people it leaves them very exhausted at the end of this. This is not something that the human body was really made for. If your kidneys don't work, it's better than dying, but it's really rough on you. And so now my mom actually, for many years, would do this with flying colors. She would literally play tennis and then go do dialysis. And she did that for probably 15 years, was able to do that before it really got to be too much for her. But one of the things that would happen is that she would invariably find doctors which didn't take into account the fact that she had an underlying condition. So they would want her blood work to be like a normal person's. And so this person might have expertise, and they might have expertise in what a normal person's blood work looks like. But my mom literally didn't have working kidneys. So her blood work is never going to be what a normal person's blood work is. So to that extent, they didn't really have expertise. In fact, she had more expertise than most of her doctors because she knew exactly what it felt like when she took each of her medications. She knew exactly what happened when she didn't take her medications. So she actually had greater expertise on her own body than the experts did. And so this is kind of the first thing that I'll point out, is that there's a lot of situations in life where there's no particular expert that is an expert on that particular situation. Or if there are, they're very few and far between. And so you can't just take someone who's generically an expert on medical things and throw them into a situation and expect their advice to be worthwhile. Because a lot of times the situations that you find are actually very specific to very specific problems. And unless you have specific expertise in that area, your general expertise might not help you nearly as much as you think it would. So anyway, we'll talk more on this over the next few episodes. I hope you enjoyed your time on BP Mindcast. Until next time, keep thinking.